All right, things are getting complicated. So not only do we have to find the inverse of this function, but we also have to graph this inverse and the function both on the same coordinate plane. So the first thing we're going to need to do is put this in a nice, easy form to graph. So let's go ahead and turn this into slope-intercept form. So f of x would equal, so we'll have half of x, so 1/2 of x plus 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we can graph this function, 1, 2, 3. That's our y-intercept. That's this guy right here. And slope is 1/2. So we count up 1 and over 2. Put a dot. Count backwards. Put a dot. We get a ruler. And we draw ourselves a nice line. So this is going to be our function, which is f of x. So now we want to find the inverse of our function. So to do that, remember, to find the inverse of a function, we're going to switch the x and the y value. So the first thing we're going to do is write this, step 1. So we're going to write with a y. So it's going to be y equals x plus 6 over 2. Step 2 is we're going to switch. So now we're going to exchange x and y. So instead of y equals x plus 6, we're going to have x equals y plus 6 over 2. Step 3 is we are going to solve for y. So we want to say y equals, so we have x equals. So let's multiply both sides by 2. So 2x equals y plus 6. Then we can subtract the 6. So 2x minus 6 equals y. And then let's flip the whole thing over so we get y equals, that's what we really want, right? A y equals 2x minus 6. And the fourth thing we want to do is we want to write the inverse sign. So this is the sine inverse. So instead of y equals 2x minus 6, we're going to put the inverse equals 2x minus 6. So here's our inverse function. If you remember up here, we had our original function. So let's go to our graph. It has a y-intercept. That's going to be -6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -6 would be right here. It has a slope of 2. So it's going to go up 2 and over 1. So we can keep counting. And grab our little ruler, big ruler, and draw a nice line that goes like this. So here is the cool thing about inverses. First of all, we need to label it. So since it's the inverse, it's f minus 1 of x. The cool thing about inverses are that if I correctly graph an inverse, that every function, every point that I have here should correspond to the opposite point here. And there's actually a line that I could draw right down the middle of these two things where all of these points reflect. So this line of reflection, this line of symmetry, should go right through the middle of this. It's actually the line y equals x, and it is a line of symmetry, spelled that wrong, or reflection. My daughter's laughing at me because I spelled it wrong. So let's put another M there. That's better. Line of symmetry or reflection. So what I mean by that is that this one, if this point is here, it should reflect itself over here. So if this point is here, then right on the other side, on this side, should be the point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be right here at 6. So if this is 0, -6, then this should be -6, 0, which makes sense because if I flip the x and the y, that's what should happen. All right.